Ditka?
Hey. You're really campaigning for Bitch of the Year, aren't you?
I swear, one of these times you're gonna wake up in a coma.
If we can focus, keep discipline, and not have quite as many mysterious deaths, Sunnydale is gonna rule!
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 69 of GurArdCast. I am your host, Brandon Ellison. Jewel Rocket Rose is not here, so I have to be her for today as well. And we are covering... Hold on. Jewel and I are in the same room, recording the show.
Right next to each other.
Literally in the same room for the first time ever.
Yeah, well, you know...
We've been in the same room like a couple weeks ago.
Just adjusting my camera. This is not my preferred side, just so we're clear.
But we didn't do a show because I brought the wrong computer with me. So this is and I keep looking at you, and it's weird because...
It's weird.
Yeah, it's super weird. Let's not do that.
I need height. This angle.
Maybe.
This angle is killing me.
Yeah. So we are here. We are in Las Vegas at the Sahara Casino working on an untitled, unannounced project. Well, she is. I'm doing nothing. We are happy to be recording together for the first time, and hopefully we'll do a few more of these before one of us leaves town, right?
You guys, this is going to be a really awkward episode, too, because one thing you don't understand is when I see a mirror, I can't not look at myself.
And there's a mirror right
And there's a
behind us.
mirror right in front of me.
It's more confusing to me because I'm so used to talking to you at the screen.
I'm not
and
having
now
a
I keep
problem
looking
with
at
this.
you and I'm like, but I'm not doing my job.
You're on your own with that problem. I'm having no
And I can't read the comments, which is like my job. Jules on the main computer and I'm on the secondary computer.
Ooh, I get the comments. Hey, girl.
You
Hey,
get the
Amy.
comments.
Hey,
If you want to
Sarah.
put them up on the screen, you just click on them and they'll go like that.
Oh.
Isn't that neat? So if you see any comments that are interesting, you can just do that.
Make some interesting comments.
Jewel, before we start, what have you been watching, listening to, doing, reading this week? Or nothing?
I haven't been able to watch a damn thing. I have been working like crazy. Everyone come to Vegas at the end of August and come see Magic Mike live. I cannot confirm or deny what I am doing here.
Subtle. Everybody come to Thailand because I'll be going back soon and you should come visit me. I have been watching, did I tell you about this Apple TV show that I started watching? It's called Calls. Did we talk about that?
No, Brandon, and I think you did that because I have not been able to get on my Apple TV or on my Fire Stick because you're not allowed to do that in Vegas hotel rooms. They stop you from doing it because they obviously want you to be downstairs gambling or paying $15 a night for a fucking movie that I've seen 100 times.
Amy or Sarah, let me know if I talked about Calls on the last episode, because if not, I'm going to talk about it again. It's a really great Apple TV series. It's got like a whole bunch of names you'd recognize, and the only one I can think of right now is what's his name that was on Buffy and Mandalorian and Wonder Woman 2. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Pedro Pascal. It's Pedro Pascal is one of the voices, but it's all, there's no video in it. It's a show that's all like audio clips of people calling each other during this like cataclysmic event happening in the world. And it was recorded during COVID. And it's just got, do you remember the old equalizers on like Windows Movie when you would listen to music and it would show the lines going up and down to the music?
I didn't know what those things did.
Yeah, so it's similar to that.
How do you know what they do?
Because it goes based on the frequencies in the music. I keep looking at you, even though I should.
I know, and I am looking at the camera. I am performing well
yes,
today.
The first thing you learn in theater school is always look at the camera.
I can't stop looking at the camera.
What is Sarah saying?
But really,
this is
I'm
the first
looking
time
at
here.
the
Okay,
mirror.
great. So it's all these people that are calling each other. Each episode's
Brandon, just look at me in the mirror. It really works.
Okay, each episode's like 15, 20 minutes. And it's like these people calling each other. There's this cataclysmic event happening, and there's a lot of like body horror stuff. It's like horror-y, but more sci-fi-y. It's really, really interesting. It's really well done. And it's good to like put on, smoke a joint, lay on the couch, and just listen. And it's very disturbing if you do it that way. I highly, highly recommend it if you like to be a little freaked out. Also, I've been watching Central Park on Apple TV, which is the same creators of Bob's Burgers, but it's a TV show. It's a musical cartoon TV show about the guy who manages Central Park and his weird family.
Did anyone's eyes just roll back in their head? I have been watching Hacks, actually. I watched the first episode of Hacks. Oh my god, you would love it. It's about this aging comedian living in Vegas and performing in Vegas, which is what I feel like I'm doing at the moment. And this young writer from Los Angeles who comes to work for her, and she's a royal cunt. It's amazing.
Nice. Hacks. Hacks.
Hacks. It's on HBO Max.
I will check it out. Outside of that, I don't think I've... I started watching Lisey's Story on Apple TV as well. I just got Apple TV, if you couldn't tell. I started watching...
I have an Apple TV. I watch nothing on Apple TV.
Well, Lisey's Story is great. It's a Stephen King adaptation. It's Julianne Moore and Clive Owen.
I want to kill myself already.
You don't like Julianne Moore?
Love Julianne Moore. Don't like Stephen King. Shit is scary.
Well, Stephen King's done non-scary stuff. Like, Stand By Me wasn't scary.
Stand By Me was the dumbest fucking... Listen, I will take it to my grave that Now and Then is better than Stand By Me.
Well, you're right about that, but it's still good.
I'm just saying leeches on penises. That's number one. That was blood.
Don't you kick shame me.
And then at the end of the movie... They're all fucking dead or in jail. How is this a good movie?
Okay. But there's some other, like Shawshank Redemption with Stephen King. That wasn't scary.
Shawshank Redemption, that was a brilliant.
Green Mile with Stephen King.
I didn't watch Green Mile.
Dolores Claiborne. Do you ever see Dolores Claiborne with Kathy Bates? Oh my God, it's so good. Do you ever see Misery? Wasn't really scary. It was just creepy.
I don't like creepy scary. I like Below Deck.
Is that a show about the yacht, the people that manage yachts and stuff? Oh, Christ.
I've missed the last 2 episodes and I'm devastated.
I feel crippled that I can't read the comments. Do you feel like this every day?
I didn't even know I could read the comments. I'm so busy looking at myself to make sure I'm making eye contact with the camera.
This is the only way I can read the comments, is if I open it on my phone and read them, which, yeah.
Don't do that.
It says B looks really good today. Well, thank you. Weird. I got a compliment for my looks. That's never happened. Jewel looks amazing. But it's because
Why am I so offended? I'm really thrilled for you, but like, excuse me?
It's the lighting.
Naomi.
And my TLC t-shirt.
It really is, because he has better lighting than I do.
Naomi's asking if that's your curtain with people printed on it. It's in the hotel.
It sure is. Isn't that fucking creepy?
Yes. Anywho, wow, I didn't know it does live subtitles.
Yes, I know.
I had no idea.
What?
I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, hey, let's talk. Well, this is going to be a mess. Us doing the show this way is going to be a mess. Let's keep it up. Let's talk about this week's episodes. Jewel, do you want to give the people watching the opportunity to choose whether we talk about Buffy or Angel first, or do you want to choose?
I don't care.
Why don't you choose Buffy or Angel first?
Buffy.
Okay. Buffy's episode this week is called Forever. A grieving and confused Buffy falls into the loving arms of Angel, who comes back to Sunnydale after he gets word about the death of her mother. Meanwhile, a distraught Dawn takes it upon herself to perform a magic spell to bring her mom back to life. Oh, God. Now that we gave Jewel control of the comments, any comments about her looks are going to go up on the screen. Just you wait. Episode starts, we're in a funeral home. Buffy's picking out a casket for her mom. Dawn is like, I don't know if mom would like the casket or not. Have you ever had to pick out a casket, Jewel?
No.
Okay. I have a few times, and it's an uncomfortable situation to be in.
First of all, I'm all about a cremation. Second of all, I want to be shot off into a fucking firework, okay?
All right. Well, it's the 4th of July, so we can.
I'm not dead yet, Brandon.
Well, you know, the night is young.
And also, I would like to be turned into jewelry and force my children to wear it.
So they go over to the Summers house. They're discussing funeral plans. I do this every episode. It seems more abrupt since you're sitting next to me.
You're going to choose not to acknowledge what I just said?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. As long as we're clear.
Buffy says that, they talk about, like, her dad hasn't come around, which is weird. Like, he wasn't really a dickhead on the episodes he was on, and they've kind of portrayed him as a dickhead since this.
Well, now he's a dickhead.
Okay,
so we move on with the day. Hashtag acceptance.
Dawn, I don't have my button. Here, I'm going to show you how to do the hashtag acceptance button. It's right there. Oh, no, that's Jew Crew. There's hashtag acceptance, and that's Girl Gang. Okay.
Shut up.
Isn't this neat? Isn't it neat to be in charge? Don't put the Patreon stuff up yet. Hashtag Girl Gang.
Brandon, this is the greatest.
As well, to people listening to the podcast, Jewel is experimenting with the little video features that I put up on the feed for our Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/JC podcast. Willow and Xander are leaving Buffy's house and they run into Spike. Now, this scene with Spike is, to me, the saddest scene of the whole episode.
It's so mean.
Spike shows up. He's got flowers. Xander is like, what are you doing? Like, are you really trying to, like, leverage this into, like, getting laid with Buffy or whatever? And Spike is like, no, Joyce is the only one of you that was actually, like, a decent person to me.
She treated me like I was a normal person.
Yeah.
And they had great conversation.
They had great conversations. And Xander's like, yeah, whatever. You're leaving and you're not leaving those flowers. So he throws them on the ground. And Xander's like, that fucking piece of shit. And Willow's like, he didn't leave a card. And it's just so devastating. It's just sad.
I didn't understand the card part.
Because it wasn't, he was just going to leave the flowers at the door.
Yeah.
He wasn't, he didn't want.
He didn't want, like, points for it. He was just doing it because it was fucking
Because it mattered to
Joyce.
her. There, yeah.
Okay, I understand some more things about Buffy now.
Okay.
Like, I didn't understand why people liked it as much as they did. Like, now I feel like this is like, it's like a really, like a full story completion. I'm really rooting for her character, and I'm really rooting for her to get her head out of her ass at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. So,
but also I see a lot of similarities with myself and Buffy and doing that with people.
Yeah. So then we have the scene of Buffy.
Just know I acknowledge it, okay?
We have the scene of Buffy and Dawn sitting in this room, like, trying to figure out what they're going to do next. Like, of course, I just dealt with this in January. Like, when this shit happens, you're just like, okay, like, here's a list of steps that we have to accomplish, and here's the order that we have to be done in. And it's really weird to feel so technical and, like, task-oriented when you're dealing with... when you're dealing with the fallout of, like, somebody dying. And anyway, Joyce is buried. Really weirdly Christian funeral. I didn't really get the vibe that any of them were particularly religious.
I
but
just
the
feel like
funeral
that's
was...
what you think you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I said, I want to be made into jewelry and shot off into a firework. I want none of the theatrics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing theatrical about that. You're literally like, I want a pyrotechnic spectacle. Nothing theatrical. Joyce is buried the next day. Dawn goes with Willow and Tara to their dorm, and she's like asking Buffy if it's okay that she stays over there. I might have skipped ahead a bit. I definitely did. Buffy is at the cemetery, and Angel shows up. Now, I have one little nitpicky thing about this, which is that this is never addressed on the show Angel. Angel leaving LA to go to Buffy's side because her mom died is never addressed in the episode before or after
No,
this.
it's not, which I thought was a little strange.
Yeah.
But also, he was acting real weird in the show, so...
Angel, yeah, and he's just like there comforting her and holding her hand and whatever. You're a strong person, blah, blah, blah. And Buffy's like, okay, I think it's time for you to go. Which, thank fucking Christ, this is, I believe, the last time that this happens in this way. The Angel just pops up to be supportive, whatever. What? Oh, God, this one.
Right, Naomi? How did they never...
After, okay, so they get up, they kiss really quick, and he leaves. And finally, we never get more Angel for a while. And Willow and Tara are trying to cheer up Dawn, and they're like, hey, let's do spells. I
have to agree with Amy really quickly. Good on Angel. Good on Angel for being there for Buffy.
I guess.
That's a good person.
I suppose. A bit of a day late, dollar short kind of situation. But I don't remember... Oh, yeah, he was dealing with the whole, like, Darla fallout in
Yeah,
LA.
he has shit going on, too, bro.
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of apocalypses is happening. And Dawn is like, I don't want to see your little spell where you make dolls dance. I want to bring my mom back to life. And they're like, yeah, no, let's not do that. Like,
it's not good, Dawn.
Well, and it's funny, and there's a lot of, like, foreshadowing here, because Willow's reason for not doing it is, like, sometimes spells backfire and bad things happen. And Tara's reason is, like, we don't play with life and death. Like, that's not a thing that you do as witches. Like, you don't fuck around with life and death. And Willow's like, yeah, but sometimes bad things could happen. But we could do it, but bad things could happen. And that plays into a lot of what's going to happen in next season of the show. So we're at Xander's apartment.
I'm, like, confused and intrigued.
Yeah. At Xander's apartment, Anya and Xander have just banged, and they're like, oh, sex means more now that we've had to, like, deal with the reality of death. Which actually is kind of interesting. Like,
I mean...
Yeah. Sex is always more fun if you're sad when you do it. What? And Giles is fucking bummed. That scene where Giles is listening to the record in his apartment, and it's the same record. Do you remember in the Band Candy episode when they eat the candy and they're like teenagers again?
Yeah.
It's the same record that Joyce played in that episode.
Stop.
Isn't
he
that
remembers his Band Candy baby.
Yep, exactly.
That's so heartbreaking.
We're at the hospital, and Ben is approached by Glory's minion Jinx. And he's like, and Ben's like, I'm not helping Glory, whatever. Like, I'm not going to help her find this innocent. And the guy's like, oh, what an interesting choice of words. You said innocent. Like, why would you describe an inanimate object as innocent or whatever? So, like, this is the first inclination that Glory's people know that the key is a human.
The key is a human.
Yeah, exactly.
And he tries to kill him.
He tries to kill him. He stabs him with his own knife, but he doesn't make sure that he's dead because he's stupid. He's a nurse or a doctor. He's a doctor. He's a doctor. Like, he can absolutely make sure this guy is dead. Right? Kevorkian did it. So Jake survives, goes to Glory's mansion, and Glory is, like, super happy now because she's like, we've narrowed down the search. So the next day, Willow and Tara leave for class, but Willow does something sneaky. She makes a book fall, like she uses magic to make this book fall off the shelf, and it's the book with the resurrection spell that Dawn might need. Did you notice this happen?
I thought it was because it was like the beginning of it was like fun or something. Like it was.
It was like she's like just in case, Willow.
Willow is like a shit stir. Willow.
So Dawn finds this thing about the resurrection spells. She goes to the magic box and she steals some ingredients. She goes upstairs to the like lofty area, which is going to come into play in the next season as well, because that's where all the like dark books and stuff are very secure. They have to climb a ladder and everything.
I know she climbed up there and like grabbed something and ran, and I was like,
yeah,
she like stuffed it in a bag.
That night, she goes to her mom's grave. She collects dirt, and Spike catches her doing it. And he's like, I know what you're doing, and I'm going to help you. And Dawn thinks that it's like Spike, the same thing that the other guys thought, that it was like Spike trying to get in good with Buffy. But Spike is like, you don't get to tell her that I had anything to do with this shit. Like, it has nothing to do with, like, I don't want her to know that I'm part of this spell to resurrect your mom. And he's like, he's helping her because he doesn't like to see the Summers women take it so hard on the chin, which is an interesting expression. And
it's like not a really British expression. No, but it's not.
We should do a whole bonus episode with your dad where we go over all the Britishisms in the show to see if they're actually real, because Jules' dad is English. It would be great. I love your dad. So Spike takes Doc to visit a Spike takes Dawn to visit a magic expert named Doc. Doc is played by Joel Grey. Do you know who Joel Grey is? Joel Grey is the original MC from Cabaret on Broadway and the film version. He won an Oscar for playing the MC in the Cabaret film.
Good for him.
He's the original wizard from Wicked. He was the original Wizard of Oz. On the cast recording, it's him. Ooh. He was in the revival of Anything Good. Like, he is like Broadway legend. He also directed this Yiddish production of Fiddler on the Roof that I saw off Broadway, which was all in Yiddish, and it was really good.
You don't say.
Let's try to get him on the show. I love Joel Grey. And his daughter is Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing.
Oh, it makes me so mad that she changed her face because...
Geez, she killed a guy with Matthew Broderick?
Like on purpose?
No, they were driving the wrong way in France, and they, like, went head first into a guy's car and killed him. Or might be a lady's car.
As you do.
I think that happened. That might be apocryphal. Naomi, look it up. So Doc is, like, giving her all this, the information that she needs to do the spell. And the only way to break this enchantment is to tear up a picture of Joyce that she's using for the spell. So Spike and Dawn go to collect this demon egg, and Spike distracts it. Dawn steals its egg. Spike is injured, but he turns around and kills the demon.
And he's a vampire, so it's not like it takes long for him to heal and he doesn't die because he's already dead. Exactly.
So they're in their dorm room. Willow is telling Tara that she wants to start a journal because she realizes that life is short. And Tara's like, one of our books is missing. Dawn might have taken it. And then she realizes what Dawn's about to do and calls Buffy. I don't like that Willow did this shit. I don't like
Willow is...
She stirring up shit. Exactly. Buffy finds Dawn and they're arguing. Dawn's already finished the spell. And Dawn's like, you don't even care about Mom being dead. You're just going to walk away like it's a chore, whatever. And Dawn is like, you haven't cried. You keep pushing me away, like whatever. And Buffy is...
Lets it loose.
Yes. And she's like, you're just cleaning up Mom's mess. And Buffy slaps her and breaks down. And she's crying. And it's actually really touching, really, really like.
I gotta tell you, SMG knows how to rock a crying moment.
She's real good.
She knows how to rock a meltdown.
And she's like, they hear these like footsteps approaching the house and like zombie walking, and Buffy's like, I've just been trying to keep myself busy so I don't have to like deal with the situation. Like I don't have to like, I can't, if I stop, then I have to think about it and then mom's really dead. And then she's like, if I stop, then she's really gone. So we see this like shadowy figure come into the window and the girls hear a knock at the door. Buffy has completely changed her look on this and runs toward the door. Sorry, air conditioner came on. Fixing.
Listen, you guys. Brandon's a monster and has made me turn off the air conditioning in my hotel room.
Because it's loud. So this shadowy...
We're in Las Vegas. Do you know it's 100 plus degrees outside? It's like 117. It is so fucking hot.
So this shadowy figure comes to the window. Buffy like changes entirely and runs toward the door. She's like, "Mommy, whatever." And Dawn is like, "Oh shit, like this is about to get real." And and Buffy goes to whip the door open. Dawn tears apart the picture of her mom.
I thought Buffy
No, Dawn did it because Buffy was like ready to see mom again. Buffy like snapped, and then Buffy opens the door. There's nothing there. She breaks down into her sister's arms. They start crying. The grief is real. End of episode. Real quick, a little bit of trivia before we get into our final thoughts. Writer and director Marty Noxon says, "To me, the idea of wanting to defy death is just an inherent, almost mythological, iconic notion. It's something we can relate to, a universal longing," which I like. Christine Sutherland did not play Joyce in this episode. They used a stand-in for her because she was
traumatized.
She was absolutely traumatized. And that's pretty much what I got for foreign languages. The Finnish title is Ajasta Iadisitin, which means from time into eternity. The German title is Gefahrlicher Zauber, or Dangerous Magic. Yeah, exactly. That's what German sounds like to me, too. And that's about it. I like Gefahrlicher Zauber, or Dangerous Magic, as the title for this episode, instead of Forever. Final thoughts and letter rating. Go.
I feel you should go first.
Okay. This episode, to me, like finishes this like trilogy of episodes about Joyce's death, starting with "I Was Made to Love You," and then "The Body," and then this one. The stuff with Spike is fantastic. Buffy and Dawn kind of bonding over the possibility of Joyce coming back is really great. Anya and Xander didn't really have much to do in this episode. We get the first hints that Willow is a little bit abusive with the whole magic stuff.
Willow is a defector.
Mm-hmm. Definitely going to come into play even in this season. So I'm going to go ahead and give this episode a B+.
I feel like you're being kind. I think it's a solid C+. I think it just moved along the story. I thought it was real creepy. The Spike stuff made me so upset at... Xander's a dick. Sorry, Nikki Brendan. But, like, was it necessary? I mean, I guess. A, you guys are nuts. You are nuts. You are nuts. You're nuts.
Yeah, I'm going to go B+. It's not... After The Body and I Was Made to Love You, which to me are two of the best episodes of Buffy, like, to follow that up with this is, like, it's kind of a... going through the motions, if you'll forgive a future reference. I like it. So anyway, before we get talking about our next episode, let's talk about our Patreon. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/GAC podcast. Sign up. You get bonus content. You get to be part of our private Facebook group where we bitch and moan about all kinds of things, and also share recipes and things like that. There's extended interviews. There's all kinds of stuff you'll have access to. So please do come over and sign up for our Patreon. It's $5 a month. You won't even notice it's gone. Okay. Our next episode is Disharmony. Angel and his reunited crew try to foil the plans of a vampire cult leader, but Cordelia becomes distracted when her old high school friend turned vampire Harmony comes to town after her breakup with Spike and wants to help in the fight. Jewel, Harmony's back. Before we start doing this, what's your reaction to Harmony being back?
Thank God someone brought some actual storyline to
Angel. Angel's having a hard time adjusting to this new work situation because he's no longer in charge.
He's not in charge. And you know what? He doesn't get
But he asked to not be in charge.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes I say that too.
but enough
I
about your love
have
life.
ideas where for real. I say this is not what I want. However, that is not what my behavior dictates.
Right. He's having trouble like earning back his friend's trust and making up for his past mistakes. Cordelia is like, I'm angry. We're not friends anymore. This is a work situation. Like, you don't get to just like traipse back in here and make things better. And then she gets this vision and she sends the guys out to help some people who are being attacked. And Cordelia decides she's going to take the rest of the night off. And as she's leaving, Harmony shows up. Yay, Harmony. So when last we saw Harmony, she
was smacking Spike across the face.
Yes, because Spike had Drusilla and Buffy chained up in the crypt, and Harmony showed up, and he's like, "Can you go away now?" Like she was just a place filler for him, which is very sad. Because Harmony is so sweet.
How many times have you been the place filler?
How many times have I not been the placeholder? Is a
That's
better
how I
question.
feel.
I'm always just like especially because I have a proclivity for having fun with heterosexual men, so I always feel like I'm just like a brick on the path to full
It's so funny
heterodom.
because I also have a proclivity for heterosexual men.
Well, I don't recommend it.
You know, I wish I could choose. I wish I could pick sometimes, because I gotta tell you, some of them are real dumb.
Yeah. So the girls are talking about their lives and how much they've changed, and Harmony does not mention that she's a vampire. So they're just like kikiing in their pajamas, catching up at Cordelia's apartment.
Did you say kikiing?
Harmony is sorry, it's super recent terminology. I know. You know, I'm hip to the slangs of today.
We're gonna have a kiki.
Hey, we're gonna have a kiki. Lock the doors tight. Harmony tells her of her recent breakup, and Cordy's like, "Stay at my place." Angel, Wesley, and Gunn find this car from Cordy's.
I love that Harmony's like, "You have to invite me over."
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, you're slick. You're slick, girl."
Angel, Wesley, and Gunn find the car that Cordy's vision was all about, and they go to rescue the woman that they heard screaming. The woman is saved, and the three fight a vampire. And Wesley notices that the vampire is wearing this like green robe with this weird symbol on it.
And especially because Cordelia said blue robe.
Right. So Cordy doesn't consider them. Wait, where was I? Okay. So Angel's upset that Cordy doesn't consider them friends. And he talks to Wesley about Cordelia, and he's like, "I want to buy her things." And Wesley's like, "You can't buy her. You can't buy her forgiveness. You can't buy her friendship."
But you...
Well, by the end of the episode, we find out that of course you can. Cordy likes clothes. Also, if anyone's wondering, I can put my PayPal and Venmo up. You can absolutely buy my friendship. And I believe Jewel will go with that too. Cordy and Harmony, or just sign up for our Patreon and you'll be our new best friends.
You're the worst.
Cordy and Harmony have a great time chatting over glasses of wine. Harmony's hungry, and Cordy keeps doing this, like rubbing her neck, and Harmony is like drooling. Harmony goes to Cordy's room while she's sleeping because she's like wants to feed off of her. But Dennis, Cordy's ghost roommate, shows up. You love Dennis, right?
Dennis! I love when he shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah. And Harmony's like apologizing, and Cordy thinks that Harmony was coming in the room to like have some lesbian times.
She's a big old lesbo.
And yeah, so that's the next scene. Cordelia calls Willow and is like, "Hey, Harmony's here. Like, why didn't you tell me about Harmony?" And Willow's like, "Wait, you didn't know about Harmony?" And Cordy's like, Yeah. Like, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, yeah, Harmony's a vampire. I thought you knew that. And she's like, a vampire? I thought she was a big lesbo.
And Willow's like, no, that's me.
Yeah. And she's like, oh.
Okay, that's like, great for you. Right. I love that for you.
Yeah, that scene is hilarious. That's the best scene in the whole episode.
Do you love that comment now? I love that for you.
I love that for you.
I
Exactly.
love that for you.
They have this that really confused conversation, and then Harmony shows up. Oh, and Willow tells Cordelia get out of the house, whatever. Harmony shows up. Willow calls the hotel and tells Angel what happened with Harmony. So he and Wesley run to Cordy's rescue, break into the apartment, and they're gossiping and painting each other's nails.
Speaking of gossip, real quick, Naomi did find out that Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey were in a car crash in Ireland. The two passengers in the other car did die.
I thought I was right about that.
Wasn't French.
Yeah, whatever. France, Ireland. What's the difference?
Well.
So the men still want to stake Harmony, but Cordelia's like super offended, and she's like, she's still my friend. Like, okay, she's undead, but you're undead. You know, and he's like, I have a soul, and she's like, fuck off. Cordy brings Harmony to the hotel. They're researching the symbol that was found on the robes. And Angel is still trying to get on Cordy's good side, so she's like, you should be allowed to spend time with your friend. But Harmony is like super annoying to everybody else.
Yeah, and she's like popping her gum. I mean, honestly,
I get
Harmony.
Do you pop gum?
I pop my gum all the time.
The equivalent of you popping gum for me on this podcast is when you have a glass that has ice cubes in it, and you'll just do this, and it makes me insane.
Does it?
Yes. Which is why I brought bottles of water for today. So Wesley and Angel are trying to find other clues for Cordy's vision, including the large bird figure that she saw. Gunn shows up, and he realizes that a whole bunch of humans have vanished off the streets, and they realize that these humans are being taken not for food, but to increase this.
Gunn is my favorite character.
Yeah, Gunn is great. They're inside this theater. We see this like this vampire comes out in this robe, and it looks like it's going to be this like dark presentation, and it turns out to be like an MLM.
It's a multi-level marketing scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme for vampires.
Oh my god!
You loved it, right?
I was like, "Are you?"
It's like Sensi.
Genius.
Or what? Tell me about some MLMs that you've either been a part of or been exposed to.
I absolutely not. I don't participate, but like LuLaRoe, there was this like diet drink one time.
Yeah.
Like not ignition, but it's like eugenics, imagenics, something like that. What else?
Isogenics.
Yeah. That
Ron
was it.
Paul was pushing that really hard, weirdly enough. I know, crazies. My mom used to sell Avon and Mary Kay, and I was the Avon and Mary Kay delivery boy.
That Rodan and Fields thing.
Oh, is that the sheets?
No.
What's Rodan and Fields? Facial cream. There's one that's like sheets. There's a sheet company that's like MLM.
Naomi says not eugenics. That's a different
Yeah,
thing.
that's a whole different thing. And then Pampered Chef is one. You know, in the UK, the Body Shop, you know, like the Body Shop, like the stores at the mall.
Bath and Body Works?
No, the Body Shop.
Body Shop, yeah.
Is MLM in the rest of the world except in the US. Isn't that wild?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm in a group called Sounds Like MLM, but okay, and they call the people who pitch it Huns. Because when they write you on Facebook, and you're, hey, hun.
Oh my god.
I noticed that you need some face cream. Yeah. Anyway.
Salad Master.
So I don't know what Salad Master is,
but I would
I'm
like
interested.
A salad right now.
Yeah,
I'm starving.
samesies. So this theater, he's like got this guy has this book, and he's like, this is our blood bank, and it's like I love it so much. I thought it was so clever, and he has a book called Selective Slaughter: Turning a Blood Bath into a Blood Bank. So we're back at the hotel. Cordy finds out that the symbol on the robe is similar to this pyramid scheme that was started by a human speaker named Doug Sanders, and now he's a vampire.
Of course, his name is Doug.
Yeah, exactly, Doug the pyramid scheme guy, and he's still doing a scheme now that he's a vampire. Harmony spills her cup of blood all over the keyboard, and Wesley's like, "You have to go." And Cordy takes her to Caritas, to the karaoke bar, where she sings the worst version of "The Way We Were" that has ever been performed. And Lauren tells them that like Harmony's struggling to find herself, but Cordy's going to guide her to her destiny. So the guys go to the bar, they find Cordelia, and they ask for her help in locating the building where the vampire group's meeting. Harmony tags along, convinced that her mission is the same as Cordelia's. They show up at the theater that Cordy saw in her vision. Angel is like, enough is enough. Like, Harmony is a danger. Harmony's going to turn her back on you, like, whatever. And Cordy's like, Harmony's my friend. You betrayed me so many times, so fuck off. Like, there's a whole lot of Cordelia just subtly telling Angel to fuck off in this episode, which I really like. Except that Angel turns out to be right. And Harmony leads them into this room, and it turns out that it was like a trap, whatever. And also from before, Cordy's still mad that Angel gave away her clothes to the homeless shelter.
I would be furious as well. How dare you?
And they ask Harmony to do some spying for them. We covered all that. So they go inside. It's all a double cross. Cordy fights with Harmony, which is a really good fight, weirdly enough. It's like the first good fight Cordy's been in. Wesley and Angel and Gunn are taking on the different members of the cult. Doug has his head chopped off by Angel. Gunn and Wesley rescue the prisoners. The scene where Harmony reaches over to Cordy to like do the final blow, and Cordy has a crossbow pointed at her throat, and she's like, "That's not gonna kill me.
You're a dummy."
Yeah, that's not gonna kill me. You're a dummy." And then she's like, "Yeah, but this crossbow is the one that's gonna kill you, and it's another crossbow." I have no idea how she physically had 2 crossbows underneath her like that for that long. It doesn't make any sense, but it works theatrically.
Hashtag acceptance.
Hashtag acceptance.
I'm gonna banner it.
I know, I was waiting for you. There you go.
Hashtag acceptance.
So Cordy pulls these 2 crossbows, and she tells Harmony just to get out of town. I never want to see you again. Harmony leaves, and Cordy's expecting him to do like a "I told you so" thing, and she's like, "Be quiet." Back at the hotel, Wesley's talking to Angel about his difficulties with Cordelia, but then Cordy finds a full new wardrobe on her desk that Angel bought for her. She hugs him, and she's like, "Your taste in clothes is great." Angel's happy. Wesley's disappointed. End of episode. Before we get into our final thoughts, this is the first appearance of Allison Hannigan on Angel. She'll be in 2 more episodes, including one at the end of this season. This is the first appearance of Buffy, of Mercedes McNabb on Angel, who plays Harmony, and she will be back in the 5th season of Angel. We don't see her again until the 5th season.
She comes back?
She's a regular in the 5th season.
What?
Yeah. But she will not be on Buffy or Angel again until then. Sorry.
Okay.
And this is the first episode to be named after Harmony. There's quite a few coming up as well. When she's back on, they name the episodes after her, which is pretty cool. And the titles are, the Finnish title is Vampiret Oi, or Vampires Limited. The French title is Ami ou Ennemi, which means friend or foe. The Italian title is Vesci Amish, which means old friends. And lastly, the Spanish title is Sin Armonia, or Without Harmony. Do you have a favorite of those foreign language titles?
I don't.
You weren't paying attention. You
Not
were
at
clicking. Okay, final thoughts, letter rating, Disharmony, Angel, go.
Oh my god, you know I loved every minute of this episode.
So good.
It was so good. Why can't it be like this all the time? We went from last week with it just really being painful to this week just like knocking it out of the park. I'm going to give it an A.
Yeah, I love it. It's very fun. It doesn't really push the story forward too much. But I love all the stuff. I love the MLM stuff. When it looks like it's going to be this like dark ceremony, and then it turns out to be a pyramid scheme presentation.
I was like, yes!
I'm going to go an A on this one as well. I'm going to meet you right. I was going to give it a B+, but I was like,
so good.
I'm just so happy that you're happy that I'm giving it an A.
Thank you.
So next week we will be back, and we will be covering the Buffy episode Intervention. And no, we won't. No, we won't. That's a total lie. We'll be covering a different Buffy episode. We'll be covering the Angel episode Dead End, for sure. And we will be covering a different Buffy episode. It doesn't matter. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry it was a little bit disorganized today. We kind of threw this together very quickly. And it's the 4th of July, so we're going to go get drunk somewhere.
And it's so fun.
You guys have a good one. It's been nice to see you. And ciao.
Bring back Game of Thrones?
I don't want to. Oh, this is somebody on... Oh, it's time to end Disharmony.